Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Murphy, and thank you for visiting my channel. This channel is all about empowering agents to master their craft and become better leaders. Today's numbers, we did 133 dials. We had 12 pickups. I got two quotes out there. I started one application and closed one application. I got into four conversations and three presentations. So that's really great in the simple fact that, the process of what I've got going on with the leads and the new friction points, it seems to be, you know, getting some more conversations in. So that's a plus because can't help anybody if you can't talk to anybody, right? Right. The Today, dealing with still the blood clot thing, it's a lot better, but having to elevate work. And I just noticed, what are we on, day 23 now? So 22 days of really putting in activity, really assessing my situation, and just, I guess you'd want to say, like, taking on all this that you need to be doing, that you should, like, to run a business, right? So, and then the pressure and this and that with the blood clot, it just kind of hit me. And then I noticed I wasn't drinking that much water the last couple of days. And what I really noticed today, which is, it sucks, but it's also great, is where my head went. This morning I listened to a little bit more politics than what I have been. So that got me all riled up. And then, just thinking, like, last week, a little bit of what I discussed yesterday, my seeing people constantly win, seeing new people come in and win, and working side by side with people and watching them, uh, help families, and you're not, like, all that stuff. It really does, like, cloud up the brain, mentally, and you start second guessing, and then everything starts to, I started noticing little things that I know, like emotional intelligence is probably one of my biggest things that I need to work on. Biggest fault of mine is that. And so seeing that, and then little other things, then I'm like getting all up in a fussy about and letting that spiral. I mean, I took the dog for a walk today, and I was walking, one of the neighbors, I don't know this person per se, and, like, they're looking at me mean, and I'm like, oh, this person's looking at me mean. And then I started in my head, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this person don't even know you. I'm They probably just have, what do they call that? RBF, resting face. Yeah. So it's like, but that's where my mind went, because that was where my headspace is. I'm, negative Nancy, pointing out all the wrong things, and not looking at, the positive, and the movement. What I didn't do yesterday, today, read. I didn't write anything that I was grateful for. Totally just consume myself of all the negativity and the lack thereof, and then the woe is me, and it just, like, and then you, like, get to a point of, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna throw in the towel and give up. So today, that's what I really wanted to do. I mean, I just didn't want to do it, and I wanted to revert back to some old habits. I wanted to just go lose myself, so therefore I don't have to deal with all this. But that's not what I did. That's not what I did. I worked, and I actually helped a lady and made a sale. So if you've ever heard this saying, you can't feel yourself into working, but you can work yourself into a feeling. You can't feel yourself into working, but you can work yourself into a feeling. And that's really true. And you can do that because once you start working and you feel purpose, especially if you help somebody, whether it's in a sale or, another agent or somebody on your team, like that sense of value or that sense of feeling like you belong or something's bigger than you kicks in. So, I noticed that today. I noticed the little bits of the far reaching, the downward spiral. And honestly, I think that's a big win, because mostly what I would have done is I just would have kept going on it. And it would have went that way for, days, and then something would have happened, and then I would have, acted a fool on it, or, not been as calm as I needed to be. So I'm thankful that I'm paying attention. I'm thankful that I'm a lot more aware. I'm thankful that I'm able to recognize these patterns, cues, bad habits, and I'm ready. I'm able to do different things now. And I have a community. Like, we just got done with the day, and there was a couple people left in the Zoom room, which is our quiet dialing room, and Dana was in there, and we kind of just all chatted for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and hearing some of, war stories from Dana's past, and then some of, the other people in there. And it just like totally rejuvenated the fact that, okay, you're not alone. Other people struggle and go through these things as well. And look at this. You have this amazing community of people that you can talk to and can build you up and make you laugh and let you know that, you are doing right and you are on track. And this business is hard and it is difficult, probably one of the hardest selling jobs there is for sales. But that was refreshing, and it totally did help me, switch and just like, okay, like I want to fight tomorrow because these people are going to be fighting, and I want to be around them and be with them and hang out. And so it's like, okay. So I guess I'm only saying this to let you know, like, I'm just like everybody else, a roller coaster. We have highs and lows. And even when you find success, you're still going to have highs and lows. And it's a lot about how you deal with it and what you do. Because, like, that's what's going to define you. And that's what's defining me. Is changing is tough. It's hard. It takes a lot of mental energy, a lot of physical energy. You got to be ready to get punched in the face 1,000 times. Anything that you're going to do is change. So when you're trying to change a lifestyle, change a habit, change a way of thinking, and also change the way that you do business, change everything all at once. I mean, you can't expect to just take off, right? So I'm sure in a year from now, I'm going to be struggling on something else. The struggle is always there, no matter what you're doing. But that's what builds us up. That's what I feel like defines us, gives us character, and then allows us to be stronger and puts us in positions where we then can help more people because we've gone through that. So then we can help them get through that. And that's a lot about what today was like, just getting in there and doing it. And I didn't do it with the best attitude, and I didn't do it like, lovingly. But I did work myself into a feeling. And when I got on the phone with the client, I did give them me, because I do seriously like helping people. As much as I hate people, I love people, That we always joke about that, right? The greatest thing about our business is people. The worst thing about our business is people. Yeah, that's so true. But it's like that in almost anything, right? It's finicky. But so I'm going to leave you with that. If this information is helpful, if you like it, if you agree, if it's helping you on your journey, that you feel you're not alone, like, share, comment, subscribe, let me know you're out there. And if you don't have a community, like people that you can laugh with and share stories with and that build you up and make you better, and when you're down can lift you up, check us out. Empower Life Group, Resilience Life Group. That's my agency I'm starting. We got Lasting Mark, totally different IMO than anything out there. All about culture, really about as Roger put it, the touchy-feely insurance company. Yes, we'll take it, because that's what it's about. When we were in this little talk, one of the people actually mentioned about, like, Dana, and how she is just more concerned about you as a person and growing as a person. And so they're like, they've never seen like that upper management style to where you like really care about my health and my well-being and what's going on in my life, not just numbers and work and, do more. So, I mean, if you need that in your life, if you don't have that, like, this is the place where you can get that. So I'll see you all later. Peace.